Hello, Roger. Congratulations from all of us at Offord Group for being this year's CCAE Friend of Education Award winner. As people who've worked in the charitable sector and continue to work with clients, many of whom you've supported through the years, we're so honored to be associated with you and all the incredible work that you've done across this country for education, for pluralism, and as you can tell by some of the guests on our call, for all of the furry friends in Canada as well. So from all of us to you, congratulations on being the Friend of Education Award.
Thank you, Roger.
Thank you, Roger. You're a great
Thank
Canadian.
you.
Hi, my name is Myrtle Jenkins-Smith. I am the Executive Director of Development and Alumni and Government Relations for the University of Prince Edward Island. UPEI was honored to nominate Dr. Roger Warren for the CCAE 2021 Friend of Education Award. And to say we were absolutely thrilled that he was chosen recipient would be an understatement. Roger Warren is an inspiring, generous, and humble philanthropist who has been making a big impact within 4 Canadian educational institutions: Guelph, McGill, Pickering College, ABC at the University of Prince Edward Island. He has enriched the lives of many, investing in medical education and research, veterinarian education, persons with disabilities, and Indigenous students and beyond for over 50 years. His giving has been amazing, to say the least. Roger is a true philanthropist. He gives generously in time, talent, and treasure. I was very fortunate to meet Roger and his late wife, Mary, almost 10 years ago. And I have learned a lot from Roger over those years and enjoyed our friendship immensely. I enjoy his many stories. He has lots, and I never get tired of them. Roger, in his typical modest fashion, told me very early after we met that he does not want his name plastered in neon lights for his giving. True philanthropist. Roger has been a tremendous role model for students at the Atlantic Veterinary School here at UPEI. The students enjoy the chats with him, and Roger enjoys his talks with the students, not only here, but at the other educational institutes. He shares life lessons with students, and he talks about his challenges and highlights of his very successful career. He is not afraid to talk about his challenges with students. In 2019, Roger received an honorary degree from UPEI, and when he addressed the students and their families, they were in awe of his message. We still talk frequently about that exciting day for both Roger and UPEI, and we continue to laugh about the funny glasses story from that day. I could go on and on about how excited we are that a wonderful, generous friend of many, Dr. Roger Warren, is receiving this award. Many thanks to CCAE for honoring Roger, and thanks to the Offord Group for their support of this 2021 Friend of Education Award. Thank you.
A short time ago, Myrtle Jenkins-Smith of the University of Prince Edward Island informed me that they wished to put my name up to the Canadian Centre for Advancement of Education for an award for support of education. As I was not familiar with this organization, this came as a complete surprise. Now I have received the Friends of Education Award. I would like to thank the Offord Group and all the others for bestowing this honor upon me. When I was growing up, my family expected me to be successful in business and with the result to give back to the community. My wife, Mary, who passed away 2 years ago, and myself did not have children. So we set up the Rathlyn Foundation as part of estate planning. The object of the foundation was to support medicine, veterinary medicine, and education. I would like to tell you all the funds in my wife's estate went to scholarships at the University of Guelph, MPI, and Actually, but it was for the animal faculties of those two institutions. I would like now to give you a brief background of my life. My education was at Pickering College, which was a private boys' school in Newmarket, and I was there for 6 years, and it was all boarding. After Pickering, I went on to McGill and studied commerce. I was the class of 1955. My career has been in investment banking. It was 60 years plus. I started in Toronto, but I spent 8 years outside of Canada in New York and a longer period in London, England. The basic function I did was investment banking, management, and wealth management. I also had some outside interests that I've been involved in from time to time during my career. One was Countryside Holdings, which was broadcasting. Another was LifeLearn, which was a spin-out of the University of Guelph, and dealt with their deals with continuing education for veterinarians and the drug industry. I also am involved with a private company that my nephew was running called Kids and Co, which is child care and education. I'm an advisor, but I'm not a director there. So that's how I keep myself occupied with my spare time. Now I'd like to make some brief comments of the various projects I've been involved with, the various institutions during my life. So let's start at McGill, because that's where I did my undergraduate work. I first got involved with McGill as treasurer of the McGill Society of the UK. We didn't collect much money, but I got my wet feet in fundraising and so on that. The basic areas that I've supported over the years was geography, which was a tiny little department without much attention. I got involved with the kids, and I do speak with them individually when I go make it my annual visit to McGill. The kids with learning disabilities, and that led me to the law faculty and a scholarship in law and disabilities. The other interest I've had is First Nation people. There's a long story there how I got involved, but I don't think I need today. But we set up a scholarship for that area. And the one that is the newest one was PhD studies in the Design Business School at McGill. And that, of course, prepared people for teaching. I also, on my annual trip to McGill, do a talk to the commerce students, and then, as I said before, the kids with learning disabilities. Moving on, Guelph was really the next one I want to refer to. When I got involved in Guelph because of sick animals, I got involved in the Pet Trust, which was created in, I think it was 86. I was on the first board, and that was designed to raise money and disperse money for scholarships, facilities, and research. Most of us, or the emphasis of my scholarships has been for DVSC students. It's a graduate program, 3-year program, of which they've also got to do a research program. And it's the equivalent of a PhD. I've also, of course, been involved in the many projects for what I call brick and mortar, MRIs, CAT scans, cancer unit, things like that. Also at Guelph, I ended up being part of the Heritage Fund, which dealt with lands, and I looked over the endowment funds, etc. Now let's move on to the University of Prince Edward Island. The way I got involved there was the Dean of PEI approached the Dean of Guelph to see if he could approach me. So we had a meeting, and I decided to give them a bit of money for the Chinook program, which sends vet students with faculty up to remote areas in northern Canada. After a number of years, I started to realize that these smaller universities like the University of PEI need funding. Well, they don't have the same opportunities for funding as the big universities like McGill, Toronto, BC. So I've become more involved there, done additional funding because it helps them so they can give good education to their students. Now, my latest thing I've got involved there is, and a good example is an ICU. No, it's not an ICU. It's I can't think of the name of it. I've lost it. An imaging facility for the vet college, and I'm very involved in that and happy to do so. Now going back to the last one, Pickering College, where I was a student for 6 years, and actually my family were involved in the original founding of the school back in 1842. The result was I was on the board of management for 25 years. I was secretary treasurer. For some personal reasons, I moved on, but I've now come back onto a board of the school and dealing with their finances. My resume also shows I got some other outside interests. I do something at the Western Hospital with a doctor that did an operation on my knee. I'm helping with another GP and a program she's got on education for family practice doctors. The Gao School in upstate New York, which deals with dyslexia. So that's a couple of the others. So that's basically my background. I'd just like to kind of close here and first of all say that there's a lot of people to thank for me being here, and I'm going to start with Myrtle at PEI, which I commented earlier. But Jeff Winslow, the Dean of OVC, that's the Ontario Veterinary College at Guelph, wrote a supporting letter, and Mark Weinstein at McGill University gave support to the application. There were also other individuals that gave me support, a lot of them, of course, being your organization. So just my last comments, once again, I'd like to thank all of you that have been involved in dealing with the application and giving me the honor of receiving the award. The other thing I should comment, there are other awards, and I'd just like to congratulate the others for winning and wish everybody well for the future.